Men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie. Welcome to your regular dose of infographic stories bringing data to life, right here on Askanwi Media. I'm your host, Yusuf Taylor, alias Flexdown. You can sponsor this series by getting in touch via askanwigambia@gmail.com. If you like our work, your support is invaluable. You can donate through our GoFundMe or any of the other donation avenues displayed on your screen. In this first episode, we dive into the costly world of the President's Meet the People's tour. I'm sure some of you would have heard Esa Fall referencing some expenditure during his interview on Coffee Time, and the very helpful infographics by Gambia participates showing how much has been spent on President Adama Barrow's Meet the People's tour. Well, we have also published an article highlighting how President Adama Barrow has spent on the Meet the People's tour from 2017 to date. This video offers a more comprehensive overview of the President's expenditure during the Meet the People's tour. There is an ongoing debate about its relevance. Is the President using the Meet the People's tour as a campaign tool, or is he using it strictly in line with the Constitution? To put things in perspective, let's look at the numbers. On your screen, you will see the data we compiled for this series, but we've digitized everything in charts to make it easier to understand. Our charts show how Parliament has approved spending, and that is in green, and the President's overspending, which is in orange, while the red line shows you the actual expenditures for those years. Our budget analysis begins in 2017. After making inquiries, we learned that the Meet the People's tour only started in 2018 under President Adama Barrow's term. However, the 2018 expenditure shows that $0 was spent on the tour, which simply doesn't add up. We strongly believe money was spent but not declared. Here is photographic evidence that President Barrow went on a tour in 2018 and has done so every year since then. By the end of President Barrow's first term in office, he had spent over $71 million in over expenditures. Now, in that same period, Parliament only approved $26 million for the President to spend. This means that the Barrow government overspent by 272% in his first term on the Meet the People's tour. And you can see 2017 and 2018, they don't feature any expenditures. Now, if those are factored in, the numbers would certainly climb higher. The overspending continued into his second term, and our data analysts observed something significant. The data shows that during his entire term, President Barrow overspent the most in 2021, a staggering 725% overspent, the same year that President Barrow sought re-election. Looking at President Barrow's second term in office, over $151 million has been spent from 2022 to 2024. We will only get the actuals for 2025 at the start of 2026, so we currently have no data for that year. Regardless, President Barrow has already overspent by $105 million, 3 years into his second term. He has spent $56 million more than he did during his first 5 years in office. To put that into context, Parliament approved only $46 million for the first 3 years of President Barrow's second term in office. And you can see our chart comparing the first term and the second term so far. Overall, President Barrow has overspent every single year on this Meet the People's tour, giving us a total of $246 million instead of $72 million, which was what Parliament approved. The numbers suggest we could be in for another record level of spending next year, likely well above Parliament's approved allocations. Over the last 8 years, President Barrow has overspent by 240% of what Parliament approved. 272%, as we said, in his first term, and 228% in the first 3 years of his second term. For the sake of accurate record keeping, the Minister for Finance, Honorable Sidi Keita, would do well to inform Gambians of the actual expenditure incurred in 2018. And for now, it's showing as zero. That cannot be true. And also, the cuts, where have the cuts taken from to fund the excessive Meet the People store? Where are the reallocations coming from to come into the Meet the People store? These are all important questions that the Minister for Finance would do very well to answer. You can read our full publication for more details. That's all we have for you today in this first episode of Numbers Don't Lie. You can sponsor this series by getting in touch via askanwigambia@gmail.com. If you like our work, your support is invaluable. You can donate through our GoFundMe or any of the other donation avenues displayed on your screen.